Okay, hello. Welcome, guys, back to another episode of my podcast, Sentimental Sensations. Today we have two guests, which is a bit changed from our usual plan, but I thought it might be nice to change it up a bit. We have our good friend Corey Cook from last time, and we also have
Hello
my other
again.
good friend, Sharon. I don't know how to say your last name, so I'm just going to say
Thach.
Sharon because I tried that
Yeah.
with Jade and I got it wrong as well. So, Thach, cool. Okay.
Yeah,
Welcome,
that's
guys.
all
And Sharon, seeing as how it's your first time here, please tell us a bit about yourself.
right. Well, I'm 26, currently working full time, and just at the moment, just trying to live a simple life, not a over the top life, but at the same time, do love my music, and love my cars as well, and my sports, especially with the Tokyo Olympics coming up this weekend or for the next 2 weeks, definitely.
True, yeah.
Definitely on the couch, or not all the time, but just keen sports fan. So yeah,
I don't lie, you're going to be on there all the time.
yeah, definitely.
Well, I
I gotta
mean,
pay bills,
considering we are in lockdown, I feel like it's a good opportunity to do that. So, yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
and they were all locked down. Kind of makes sense. And the
Yeah,
weather's been shocking.
exactly.
So yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, at least we're not missing out any good weather, eh? But it's winter,
yeah,
so what
well,
do you expect? So
yeah, definitely.
today's topic's going to be red hot chili peppers, as we have two other, should I say, massive red hot chili peppers fans in the room today, and
I
one
should have
kind
worn
of
my
just
shirt.
normal on the level fan. Yeah,
I should have worn my
uh,
shirt.
I
that's
should
all
have
good.
carried my.
Maybe
I should have.
at some
Sorry, go
point in
ahead.
the video.
Yeah.
What was that? Loved it.
No, I'm kind of feeling a bit guilty because I actually did have a copy of their greatest hits album, so I should have just got it on the side so I could just
That's
carry
okay.
it.
Well, I'm sure from this interview we'll be able to distinguish the fact that you're both massive fans rather than having to bring out some memorabilia and be like, I'm an official fan, see, I've got the merchandise. But
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know where to start here.
I guess.
Maybe I'll just ask you guys like what you like about them, like why, yeah, or whatever you were going to start with, Corey.
Oh, well, I guess we can start with that, but I can ask the question after.
Okay, cool.
I guess it's just heaps of things I like about it. I guess they have a very good mix of different genres meshed into one. Like they have like rock, they have funk, rap, more alternative type of sounds as well. But obviously, I think power funk, I think, is kind of where they originally descended from. Like, I think
Okay.
they got George Clinton, I think, was the earlier producer, and
Oh,
he's
okay.
does stuff like Grand Funk Railroad and
Oh,
Parliament and
really?
all these
Yeah, right. Okay.
different like old school funk bands. And yeah, I think they've kind of gradually converted their sound into their own thing, and it's a bit of a crazy sound, quite funky, but it works, and it's not really a band that a lot of people I feel dislike. They
Okay,
kind
yeah.
of, you don't have to get into a lot, but they always have something there that everyone at least
Appeal.
likes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair. I definitely agree with that, yeah.
and they have some very well. Flea, I guess, is up there in his area as one of the greatest bassists, but I guess you got John Frusciante and Chad Smith are very underappreciated in their lines of skill.
For sure, yeah. What about you, Sharon?
where do I start? I think what I love about Red Hot Chili Peppers is their tendency to create big hits throughout the decades. You got your Higher Ground, and then you got the album Blood Sugar Sex Magic throughout the 90s, and then gone towards the 2000s. You've got Californication, and then Stadium Arcadium. So their ability to be versatile in the different decades where you to create great songs, and especially some songs where they define sometimes your adulthood or your childhood. So what I also love about is their ability to create music videos, because the song is one thing, but it's also added into a music video is very creative. I mean, Give It Away now, it's all silver and just look how much in your face it is. So that's what I love about that. And then you've got I'm trying to think what else.
Well, I think Californication's got the video game.
Video game. Then,
Wait, video game as in the track?
Yeah, the
no, I think in the
video
film
game
clip.
graphics.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Yeah, right. I was like, they made a video game?
No.
Very good. Red Hot Chili Peppers video game out now on Nintendo 64.
Oh my gosh, that would be crazy.
I get that.
I'm rocking out fast. You get a free album with every copy.
Exactly.
I think another thing too with their music videos is one of the best ones ever is Danny California, and you'll know this crew because I think when it first came out, had the different eras of music they've gone through. I think MTV Unplugged and them of that time, and then you've got like the 80s, and then
it's about 12 different ones.
different ones. So
well, I think there was like Elvis, the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix. It was kind of like a Gary Glitterish thing. I don't know if you could call it David Bowie. I guess in there as well. You had Motley Crue type of thing in there as well. So some like hard metal, like punk metal looking. Or they had the Sex Pistols.
Oh yeah.
So they parodied a lot of bands or styles in that, and I thought it was very creative.
Yeah, I think another
sounds a bit also, like. Carry on.
It's just. I think it's just like what I love about them is just their versatility to be able to create throughout the years, and be able to use it in pop culture, and television shows. They've made guest appearances on The Simpsons. They've had a bit of a funny take on Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers with his bass choreo. I think you've shown me before.
Well, that's actually him.
Really? I didn't know that. I thought it was just someone mimicking or mocking him, but
well, I think the show's that big now. I think they can afford to pay the actual people to come in and voice their own.
Yeah. And another.
It's funny because I've been watching a lot of the Simpsons episodes where the rock collections, so all the ones that have like the cameos from famous rock stars. I haven't seen the Red Hot Chili Peppers one yet.
Yeah, that was the
sorry, carry on, Sean.
Yeah, that was from the episode called Krusty Gets Cancelled with two bands in it. So they decided to do a sort of benefit concert, and you could just see them in their underpants. And you go, that typifies them. So, not like a.
I thought that was like Flea's thing.
Yeah,
that was all of them. In those days, anyway. I think it's a '90s episode.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Quite funny. So.
One thing I'll add as well, of what I guess admire about them is they've gone through a lot of hardships. Like they've dealt with the death of Hillel Slovak, John Frusciante's first, I guess, his only bad addiction struggles with heroin himself, and he almost died as well. And they've gone through a few lineup changes, and they've overcame that to come back and be even bigger than what they were after that little 5-year kind of in the wilderness time. And then, I think it's a great comeback story, I think, for them as well through that, and they've overcome all their troubles and trials.
Definitely, I mean, yeah, I think
Yeah.
if you were to ask me what I think I appreciate about Red Hot Chili Peppers, probably kind of what you guys have been saying before, is that I feel like they've got a very unique style to them that is kind of very, I guess, different to a lot of the music you have these days. And when you were saying like it was produced by the guy who did like stuff like Grandmaster Funk, it kind of makes
Yeah.
sense. Sorry, Grand Railway, but anyway, yeah, it kind of makes sense because that sound seems very reminiscent of that kind of band and style. So I think I appreciate that from my yeah.
Mm. Well, I think definitely like I don't know if you ever heard of their first three albums. So you got like the Red Hot Chili Peppers album, Frankie Styley, Uplift, Motor Party Plan. They're all just crazy, funky, raw sounding music. Like if you got Spotify, look it up, and
Yeah,
you
for
can
sure.
definitely tell it's just very zany, just out there. But you can tell where their origins were, and
Yeah,
even when
right.
you come from them and where they are, I guess when they were big and where they are now, you can still see
Sure.
traces of where they came from.
Okay, yeah, right, cool. Nice.
Oh, and I guess the question I had, which I'll ask to you two.
Yeah.
So, what was your first exposure, or how did you, I guess,
Ooh,
first come
that's a
to
good
know of the
question.
band?
Ooh,
Um,
not sure. I think it was. I think for me, Corey, I think it was. You know, you wake up Saturday morning and you've got Rage or video hits, and you know, just,
yeah.
I think it was. I think it was Can't Stop, or I think it was By the Way. I think yeah. So that yeah, a couple of those songs, and yeah, it's just can't believe it's the sound of it. Just really solid to your ears. So yeah, it's yeah. Then you look at some of their later hits, and then going through down in California and Tell Me Baby, and just yeah, it's just you can hear it. And then when you go back to some of the old stuff, as you do, you try and always look through a back catalogue. Yeah, you just go through the old albums, and it's just like what? When you hear it, and then I think, oh, I get it. That's why it makes them so great. So yeah, and then I think another song that sort of is fired up is Higher Ground, which I actually didn't know until a few years ago was
oh
actually
yeah, the
they
Steve
covered
Wonder colored.
Stevie Wonder, yeah, because
Stevie
yeah, that one
Wonder.
gets
Yeah.
really
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah that
I think
yeah
that's
once
probably their
yeah
most well-known cover song. I think that they've done.
Mm.
yeah it's just
Well, I
when you
think
hear this the
my
bass
favorite cover song they.
and they just go
Mm,
What was
yeah,
that?
there's
yeah
a.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's
Okay.
another cover song they did called "Roller Coaster of Love" or "Love Roller Coaster," which was done for the
Yep,
Beavis and Butthead Do
Beavis and
America.
Butthead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if. So I think the Ohio Players originally did it, but it's that roller coaster of love. So what? And I think the mix is like, and they got like kazoos in the song too in their cover.
Yeah.
Doing the whole what was it? Weird Al cover of
Yeah,
Teenage Dirt. Oh, that's Teen Spirit, and he's got the
yeah.
kazoos. Doo, doo, doo,
That's like a whole
Yeah.
choir of kazoos you can hear in there too
Yeah,
in
yeah,
this
that was
cover.
pretty
It's
funny.
On the bridge.
Classic. Um, I guess for me, it would have to be probably when around the time when I met Jamie, and he basically gave me his whole iTunes library at the time, and I'm pretty sure there would have been a couple of well-known Red Hot Chili Pepper songs on there. So yeah, probably like "Danny California," "Under the Bridge," yeah, all that kind of stuff. But I think it's only been recently, especially having got to know you guys and kind of I guess, sort of listened to them a bit more, that I think I've kind of learned to appreciate them a bit more. Because I think back in the day, I kind of knew of them, but I wasn't really. I probably would have called myself a fan back then, but I think now I could probably say I'm definitely a fan. So, yeah, I think. I guess the journey through kind of discovering their music has helped kind of build a fan out of me in that sense. And that song, "Hey," that we did when we were trying to, me and Corey J were potentially trying to start a band. I think I hadn't heard that song before, and I think that's probably got to be one of my favorite ones, because I just kind of like the kind of melody, and it's very kind of I guess a bit different to a lot of their more like commercially successful songs. But that's probably my personal favorite, out at least the ones I know of.
Yeah, well, I think just trying to remember, for me, I think my dad, because my dad used to go to the library down at Knox City, near where the Knox Raiders basketball centre is, just behind where that is. And he used, because he was a member there, and he used to borrow these CDs there all the time, and he used to take them home and rip them onto his computer.
In the good old days.
And he
Windows Media Player.
And I think he brought home one day, there was Californication and Stadium Arcadium. And I think the earliest memories I remember is listening to songs like Parallel Universe, and I think I already heard of like Californication and Other Side on the radio, but I hadn't quite remembered them fully. But I think in terms of full exposure, just listening to those songs in particular, and from the same Arcadium, you have songs like Hey and Hump the Bump, Slow Cheetah, just some very, some of the bigger hits and some of the very unknown gems that obviously haven't really been released out there for the radios and that to play. So
sure.
I think those fan favorites,
and then
that people it's just one of those fan favorite
not long after
songs that don't go ahead.
What were we gonna say with the fan favorites?
Yeah, some of them are fan favorites that that aren't released commercially, but they're just some of those are really good gems that kept in the album. Sort of like one of those B sides that you have in some albums, that kept in the set. So there's some of those rarely play it, but you have some that usually request it, like mostly on Triple M. You have people asking for B sides, so sometimes have people ask for them. So it's a lot about Red Hot Chili Peppers. There's some really cool hits that a lot of people don't know. So
for sure.
And it's funny because
I
after
learned
listening
an interesting.
I'll go on, George. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I learned an interesting fact the other day that Flea was actually born in Melbourne.
Yeah, he's a Bird boy.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
I'd presume they'd all be from America because they're an American band.
Yeah, well, I think from memory, I think he moved during like early primary school, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so he probably wasn't really spent a lot of time there, but I guess we could still say there's some Aussie influence there.
I've seen interviews. I've seen interviews, and his parents still sound Australian, but he really just sounds like a typical.
Yeah, he's obviously like
Hollywood,
lost his accent,
Californian,
California type accent.
Yeah, they got a very interesting accent over there.
So I call them the Osmericans. So
the Osmericans.
It's a great little bit of both. So So yeah, it's,
Imagine like an Aussie and American accent mixed together. Oh man, that would be like weird ass.
oh,
I've heard that before. It's strange. And it wasn't even because they were from America. It's because their mum was from America, and they've kind of got
fair
the
enough.
best of both worlds.
Yeah,
like
best
when
of,
they're
yeah.
home.
Yeah, that's funny because I've got a cousin who lives in America. She's married to American, and you can like their kids are like 100% like American, but you can definitely tell that she's starting to sound a bit like it as well. And she's like in a kind of, I think she's a couple of years older than I am, but it's kind of just funny just seeing that kind of transition.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Oh,
But
what I was gonna say before is that when I think after I heard probably heard for the first time, a friend of mine happened to be a fan, and he took me to see them during their Stadium Arcadian tour. So
yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, and went and saw them, and I think it was really then that I properly converted to their fan base, I guess, and
Yeah.
I'm hooked.
Do they have like a name? Does their fan base have a name or not? If you know where. Because I know a lot of the other artists, like you got Beliebers for Justin Bieber, you got Swifties, I think, for Taylor Swift.
Please.
I actually don't know. Like,
Yeah. I'm not sure if Simple
that's a
Plan
big
have
one.
like a name for that or not, but perhaps it's more of like a commercial pop kind of thing.
Yeah, well, the only other ones I know,
Yeah.
like the Kiss Army and things like that. But
yeah.
I don't know what the Chili Peppers ones would be called. I actually haven't looked that up. Maybe they're just called the Chilies or the the Red Hot Army. I have no idea. But
that'd be good. But I think they sort of I think to a certain degree they did have a it sort of looked like an 8-pointed star sort of asterisk for a while. That was so their sign.
Oh, they still have that as their logo.
Yeah. Sort of like when Kiss, they got that sort of double S, so it kind of looks like a lightning bolt. You've got AC/DCs, with that lightning bolt down the middle. So yeah, I've got sort of that star. It's kind of their
interesting story about the Kiss. Interesting story about the Kiss logo. And this wasn't intentional, obviously, at all. But in Europe, they had to change the S's at the end because it looks like the SS signal from the Nazis in the Second World War.
Of course.
So in Europe they've had to change, and they still have them changed to that different S2. Like there's a couple of imported CDs I've got for a few Kiss CDs I've got that have that edited double S in there.
Okay.
Like a calligraphy style, or is it?
No, it's like I'll be right back. I'm just going to get one of the CDs for you.
Yeah, all good.
Here we go. Here's one. So Rock and Roll Over, which is one of my favourite Kiss albums, but won't go too far.
Sure.
So you can see it's backwards, I think, but you can see how the S's are different.
They're more like standardized,
like
kind of
I saw
more block letters and whatever it used to be.
More like a bold font, so suitable for heading. So.
Yeah, I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, speaking of the name and having it sort of having a bit of a sign or like a form of followers. Whenever I think of funny stories about the Red Hot Chili Peppers, this reminds me of and I always love going through a bit of fun here, but I've got a really good story about someone in Scotland. They thought they saw they had found online some really cheap tickets to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I thought, that looks fine. Only problem is when they had a look at the fine print of the tickets, they realised they were actually going to the Red Hot Chili Pipers.
Yeah, Pipers.
So,
Yeah.
Oh,
actually
God,
going to watch the.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, they were going to.
I've got a funny, and they're quite big in
to the
Scotland
bagpipes.
too.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, one of my mates who I went to school with in late high school, he came from Scotland. His guitar teacher was one of the members from the Red Hot Chili Pipers.
Chili Pipers.
So, yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Oh,
I thought that was brilliant.
Oh,
how
that is
ironic
ironic.
that? Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Imagine
that would
playing
be
over
like
the
a
bag.
total disheartenment.
Oh.
You're like, I'm gonna go see the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Oh wait, no, it's a different
Oh, they're the
band.
Pipers. Imagine the band walking out the front thinking they're gonna play something traditional until Flea just goes off with the pipe.
Yeah. They're looking a bit old now. They age rapidly.
Yeah.
Oh, they're still quite active though. They keep
No, I
fit.
was like saying, if you were going to see the Red Hot Chili Pipers and you
Right.
expected the Red Hot Chili Peppers, like, what's all these old dudes with, like, kilts and,
Yeah.
bagpipes doing here?
Mm.
As they all,
Default
like,
name change. Yeah. And then you have like a default name change to Anthony McKeedis or McFlea. I am McFlea for the. Yeah, you know what I mean?
oh, yeah.
Gone through haggis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Don't
Let's not go to haggis. Oh, it's funny. I've actually heard what it looks like and what's in it, so.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've actually had haggis before, but
Yeah.
Apparently, it's not that interesting. Like, it's not disgusting, but it's not that interesting.
yeah, it's just, I mean, Scottish
just
are crazy
haggis.
people. Bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a lot of smack for that, I'm sure, but I've already
And
dissed
Mick Haggis.
America in the last episode, so. It's funny,
Yeah,
I was
so,
looking up about their name, and apparently the band's famous moniker came up with a huge laundry list of eidetic, meaningless, boring names, and both Flea and saxophonist Keith Barry claimed to have invented it from that.
Okay. I think I've heard that somewhere, actually.
Yeah, I just found it online.
And you were mentioning, well, I think you were jokingly mentioning before the Flea whipping out the bagpipes and start playing it. It's funny because he plays the trumpet, so I think that was the first instrument that he actually learnt, because I think his old band was musical as well, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong, so don't totally count me on that. But I think he got put into band quite early in school, so he started learning trumpet for a while, and he didn't quite get into it from memory, but he wasn't terrible, because I've seen him in concerts. And if you've heard Hump to Bump, that song, your hump to bump, you gotta hump, and there's like a little trumpet in the background, like that's Flea.
Okay. Yeah, right.
And there's a few other songs that they've done where there's like trumpets in the background, that's Flea as well. So yeah. But the funniest one I remember seeing of him with the trumpet was, I think it was Nirvana, and I don't know what festival it was, but he was playing trumpet in Smells Like Teen Spirit. I thought they'd just bring it on stage and start playing trumpet, and as soon as the chorus starts going on, he's just going with the trumpet, doing his dance thing, giving Peter Garrett a run for his money.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
He's just going ballistic on stage.
Yeah.
I'll bring another 10 people to the.
Was there somebody
to the festival?
Oh yeah. Was there something you were going to say before, Sharon?
Oh, sorry. I think when I said about pop culture as well, it's and sort of how they've gone through over time. Like, it's amazing how still energetic. Anthony Kiedis, he's still fit fit as a fiddle. It's amazing how they guys have still got a lot of energy and able to bring in young viewers as well, and just keeping up with the times. Because there was one song. It's called Dark Necessities.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with
From their last album.
Oh, that was I found that one to be just probably one of the most smoothest sounding songs I've heard from them, and it's just so and I thought, the band still got it. They're not sort of stuck in a particular.
Haven't retired yet.
Yeah, it's a very interesting clip for that song too, because they got female skateboarders.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in the video.
It's the longboarders,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, the
right.
longboarders.
Yes, and I always found that pretty cool. Sort of quite hip to that sort of hip. They were saying that phase of the modern day hipster, so and sort of becoming the those type of people that usually wear t-shirts and they have old school bands on it. I reckon they probably would be attracting that type. So I always found those type of people would be, especially us. We're sort of the sort of rock, the back catalogue type. We would listen to all the albums, so it's all really cool to see different generations continue to listen to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So,
yeah. It's funny to mention about the t-shirt thing, because I know that a lot of people, especially girls, get a lot of slack when they wear some band t-shirt, but they have no idea about the band, but they're just like,
oh.
I think there's one on TikTok where they do that, and then the girl just kind of rap, goes all off about the band, and the guy's like, "Whoa, she actually knows stuff."
It's funny because I reckon part of that's to do with shops like Kmart, because I think there's that one corner in Kmart that sells all the band shirts.
Yeah,
so I reckon that's where a lot of people just get those shirts, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know this band well, but I like their shirt. I'll get it."
Exactly. Yeah.
Like Nirvana. Nirvana's the exact
true.
same thing, like the smiley face with the cross eyes.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was wondering where that was from. Funny when we were talking about, because you were saying about bands that are still going, I'm thinking if anyone can vouch for that, it's probably Angus Young from AC/DC. I mean, he's probably the most. Sharon left. Anyway, he's probably the most active member of AC/DC as far as I'm aware, because he's always the one on stage, running around, with his guitar, acting crazy, and the fact that he's still going after all this time is kind of been a credit to him. I think that he's managed to keep going despite everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And we're back.
We're back. Nice.
Hooray.
Sorry for the break in transmission, but we are now getting
felt so lonely.
There never, never.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what we were talking about before the break, but
Red Hot Chili. Oh wait, we're talking about oh man, I forgot.
The last thing I can remember was the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh yeah, how they were in Scotland, and then
sort of haggis or something.
Yeah, that's right. We're talking about haggis. Yeah, we kind of
we got a bit carried away.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone's got anything else to add or comment, go ahead.
I guess there. Oh, go ahead, Saron.
I think their tendency is to also be sort of have a bit of a comedic side. I mean, you look at some of the faces that Anthony Kiedis has pulled on some of the music videos. Don't know why. I think a Family Guy with the flea problem. That's Flea, but is in the Flea.
Flea cups a lot of stuff from a lot of shows and things.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember
also,
too,
I think,
Flea's an actor.
Oh, is he?
Because we've seen the Back to the Future series. He's Needles.
Is it?
Needles. Oh, that's
Yeah.
why he looks so familiar.
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh,
That's Flea
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
from the second and third movie.
Yeah. Oh, he looks familiar.
That's like really young.
But, yeah, I'll definitely.
Yeah, he does look pretty young there. I mean, all those guys were pretty young back in the day when they're all pretty old now.
Yeah.
But yeah, found also like the funny side is what able to laugh at themselves is when Chad Smith and Will Ferrell. I think we've all seen it before.
Oh, when they did the
Those
drummer.
The drummer for
Yeah.
on Jimmy Fallon's late show and in the States. That was funny. It's like you'd think, is that Will Ferrell? Is that Chad Smith? You know, I mean, they could. I mean, like you could. I mean, you can use both of them as stuntmen. You know, they both look alike. You might as well
Yeah, they
use
do
them
look
both.
pretty similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
but,
kind of feel like there was that like Step Brothers vibe going on there, 'cause, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then where do you put in John C. Reilly?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he can actually play the drums, so.
Oh, can he? Yeah, okay.
Well, he was playing the drums in the movies, so.
Ah, true. Yeah.
So you have like the trio, you know, like the drumettes or something. Like,
Yeah.
Or you can
never
get,
know.
what's his name, Animal from the Muppets in there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Woman!
It's funny because there's that episode of The Simpsons where the garbage man, and then they're like pulling all the garbage out, and then there's that one scene with I forget the guy, the Muppet's name, but he's in the dustbin, the green one.
Oh, Oscar the Grouch.
Oscar, yeah.
Sesame Street,
Yeah.
That's
times.
Well, I guess I can ask as well, obviously, in more Chili Pepper related terms, like, do you guys have like a favorite album and a song?
Ooh. What about album? That might be a hard one.
From what you know of, anyway.
Yeah. I might have to do a bit of research whilst you're on answers.
I reckon.
Okay.
I reckon Californication. That Australian #1 album in Australia. Got plenty of songs there. Scar Tissue. Around the World is probably my favourite because it's like that real grungy, aggressive start to the song and just makes you want to just go head banging. Stadium Arcadium, of course, that was probably the first genuine album, because you always have, when you're young, you always listen to odd singles from the band, but then when you listen to an album and just go, wow, it's sort of, it's more than just the commercially successful hits, but it's also what else is on the.
It's a big album to listen to too, because that's a double album.
It's 2 hours, I think for the entire.
Yeah.
Which album is this?
Stadium Arcadium. It's actually it's an album, but it's a double album. So they got 2 parts to it. They got Mars and Jupiter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because when I'm looking now, there's quite a lot of songs on it. Yeah. I mean, I guess from probably the most amount of songs I know from that album would have to be Californication.
Yeah.
Because that's got kind of all most of the fairly well-known songs, like Around the World, Other Side.
Yeah.
But that'll probably give me a good excuse to actually go and listen to some of the albums, because I'm not sure if I actually listened to a whole album of theirs before.
Yeah. I'd probably have to agree with you too as well. I think Californication's my favorite. There's a few that come very close. You know, like Blood Sugar Sex Magic's pretty good. You know, that has like Under the Bridge, Give It Away,
yeah.
Suck My Kiss, Breaking
Give it
the
away, give it
Girl,
away, give it away.
Power of Equality, and you have some songs in there that aren't so big but pretty good. Mr. Psycho Sexy, Fellowship in B major, I think it's called. Fellowship Slinky in B major, that's what it's called. It's a very weird title.
Yeah, right.
There's some other ones in there I can't think of off the top of my head. By the Way is one that people bypass a lot when they, because you got, obviously, By the Way, you've got Universally Speaking, the Zephyr song, Can't Stop, and you got some pretty good songs on there as well that aren't in the singles, like Venice Queen, On Mercury. That's one of my favorite Chili Peppers songs. I think it's fantastic. There's quite a few songs on there, and Stay Out of Cane's pretty good. I'm With You, I think, is a very underrated album. Which has like The Adventures of Rain Dance, Maggie, Look Around, what about Brendan's Death Song, Monarchy of Roses, and then you have a couple of songs, The Happiness Loves Company, I think it's called, Even You Brutus, Meet Me at the Corner. But yeah, Californication, I think, because I was explaining to you with the last podcast, I think it's just one of those albums where I just don't really skip a song.
Sure, yeah.
And as you were saying before, you only got the singles like Californication, Other Side, Around the World, Parallel Universe, and you got some ones that kind of were bubbling in the in the undergrounds a bit, like Purple Stain, Soul Trippin'. What else you got in there? Emmett Remus, that's another big favourite of mine. Let's see. Am I missing out any? Easily, that's another good one too. It's a very fast-paced song.
But
yeah, it's just it's an album that keeps you entertained throughout pretty much the whole album. Savior, that's another song that's really good. Yeah, I think there's not really a song there that's boring on the album, so that wins it for me.
Well, that's what you want.
Yeah. What about your favorite? Do you have a favorite song by them, or like a song that means the most to you?
I mean, I feel like I kind of already mentioned the Hey song. And I think also, apart from liking that, it also provided a good memory of us, you know, just the three of us together, just jamming, having a bit of fun. So I think it's got a bit of sentimental value there as well.
I think Saron might be a little confused on the song we're talking about because there's also Snow Hey-O.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
So, Hey is the last song. Actually, no, because you've heard of Stadium Arcadium, haven't you?
Most of the major hits, but not actually.
Oh, okay.
So I will a bit to that.
I get you. Yeah. Well, at the end of the first part of Stadium Arcadium on the Jupiter album, I think, is a song just called Hey.
Yeah.
So, and it's a bit of a smoother song. So, and I think it's a breakup song, or I think basing off the lyrics,
it does have a kind of feel to it. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and so that there is a Snow Hey-O. I think people just call it Hey-O, and there's just Hey.
In brackets. It's a bit confusing. It's annoying when bands do that. At least with like the AC/DC thing, you got Big Jack and The Jack, so there's a bit of a distinction there. But
and then you got like Green Day on 21st Century Breakdown, you've got Viva La Gloria with a question mark and Viva La
Yeah,
Gloria with
the one with the
question mark.
brackets. Yeah. You can't win. Oh dear. So, what about you, Sharon? What's your favorite album / single?
Phew, where do I start? I don't. Oh, I got so
Too
many.
much.
Which
Too much to.
yeah. Oh, there's a couple
Other-
well played on karaoke around the world.
yeah.
Sucks My Kiss, which actually which you can actually in a funny sort of way just go, hey, blank, or add someone saying suck my kiss, but that's
yeah.
well, just don't let the kids use that one though. But what else? Give it away, because it was also parodied by Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
And also you can use that song to make a joke at the deli. You ask them, hey Anthony, also what's the most common saying at a delicatessen? Give it away, give it away, give it away now. As if, give it away. So
Oh dear.
yeah, Danny California. So was it higher ground? So yeah, just
Yeah.
it's a real energetic. So yeah, just some of their big hits, just real energetic. I think there was also one. I think it was Universally Speaking, I think there was another one that I did listen to, and I thought I had a really good beat. So just it's too many to mention, but
too many to choose from. Yeah.
But I think in terms of albums, Californication is going to be go over one because I think rock music gone out of that sort of grunge period. So yeah,
well, and that was their comeback album too.
Yeah. Because one of the members didn't they leave or something, or
yeah, so John Frusciante, who's the guitarist, so he obviously came in the Mother's Milk album, which is where Higher Ground was on. So he came in for Hillel Slovak, who died of a heroin overdose. So it's a bit unfortunate that they had a bit of a line of heroin addicted band members in their band, particularly with their guitarists. So, and John Frusciante lasted 2 albums, and then I think the pressure of things just got too much for him. I think at the first time he just didn't like the commercially successful side of it, and it just got too much for him. Sure. And then he left, and he just went on a really bad heroin binge for a few years, and they ended up getting Dave Navarro from Jane's Addiction to come in, and they did One Hot Minute, which has, I don't know if you know, songs like Aeroplane, My Friends, Warped. No, it's not a bad album. There's a few songs on there that are good, like the ones I just mentioned, but there's some other ones on there that just didn't really seem like it clicked. And then after that, they pretty much didn't make any music for another 3 or 4 years, and I think they realised that they needed John to come back, and I think John at that point was just starting to try and sober up again, and I think they all felt that they were ready to get back with him again and make an album, and Californication happened, and they just exploded, and as I said, it's their comeback album.
Yeah.
So, because they were in trouble for about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. When I was looking them up, it said apparently they'd had 7 guitarists in total over their career.
Yeah. The last, they got John back now, but they did have Josh Klinghoffer, which I think for a few years, I think they knew that John Frusciante was going to leave and do his own solo stuff, but I don't know if it was like a permanent thing that he was going to be away. But I don't know if he taught Josh Klinghoffer or if he was kind of like a mentor, but I think I think John helped him kind of prepare to fill in for him or fill in that spot for when he left.
Yeah, right.
And it's a bit sad too because Josh Klinghoffer gets a lot of like slack for not being as good or being a John Frusciante wannabe or whatever like that. But I guess for one, if you got a sound that they're trying to, you know,
Just be distinguishable by
yeah, and you got to learn your guitar parts from the previous songs that John's done. So
exactly,
you got to learn that. And personally, I think he does a great job, not only as a guitarist, but if you notice as well, John Frusciante was the main backup singer. Like he does all like the higher pitched stuff in the background. Josh did that pretty well, even in the songs that he did, like in the I'm With You and the Getaway albums. No, I think he did a very good job, and I think it's very unfair in him that people really didn't appreciate, even some fans didn't appreciate what he had done for the band in the 10, 12 years that he was there.
Yeah.
And I think the most unfair part about his tenure there was how quick they were to push him back out for John again.
All right,
really informal goodbyes or anything. It was like, John's ready to come back. Let's get him back in straight away.
Yeah, bro. See the other guy later.
Yeah. So I know it was up with that. But, no, it's great that John's back in. Like he's one of my favorite guitarists, but you know, at the same time, I think Josh Klinghoffer deserved a bit of a better
some recognition.
Yeah, well, not just that, just a better farewell kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially, I mean, do you know how long he was like in the band for?
I think it was about 10 or 12 years. I think John.
Well, that's definitely deserves some praise, I'd reckon.
Yeah,
even if it was like a year or something. But
yeah, I think John. The last time he left was like 2008, 2009. I think it was after the Stadium Arcadium tour had finished.
Sure.
Maybe 2007 even. I don't know, but yeah, and then Josh filled in for him straight away, and yeah, it was at least 10 years because it was only at the start of last year that he left, and I think it was just before COVID hit. They did their first live concert with John back, and John's got like short hair now, and because he used to have the long brown hair that kind of goes on his shoulder. He's still got the beard.
Sure, yeah.
But, yeah, and like after that, it was I think it was like a private event, or it's like for a charity. I don't know. There wasn't heaps of people there, but they were there. But I think that was the only concert they were able to do with the four of them before COVID hit. So I probably should have looked more into what they're doing now, because I know they were planning on recording a new album.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard much about what's going on with that personally.
Okay. Sure, yeah.
I hope it's soon. I'd love to see some John Frusciante back.
Yeah, it would be always like he's sort of like anticipating when it comes out, because I always know it's like when they announce a new album, and from like any artist, you're like, oh, hopefully they like comes out soon, so I can listen and enjoy the music.
Yeah. But yeah, as for my favorite song, I mean, there's a few of them. Like Hey, as you said, is just one of them. I think that's just, well, I think talking about John Frusciante, I think that's one of the very good showcases of how much of a talented guitarist he actually is. I think there's a lot of songs where his guitar solos and that can be seen as quite simple, which they can be, and some of his riffs as well, but at the same time it can be quite genius in a sense of how it actually works with the song and the chord progress. And one thing I noticed about his playing too is he plays a lot of triad chords, which is just the use of three notes in the chords that he plays, which is very inspired by Jimi Hendrix. Now, Jimi Hendrix used to do a lot of triad playing in his playing back in the day. And funnily enough, that's how I came to really try and listen to Jimi Hendrix, because obviously I'd heard about him.
Yeah.
To a point, and then I learnt that John Frusciante's one of his biggest influences was Jimi Hendrix, and obviously the triad chord thing that he does. And I gave Jimi Hendrix a listen to, and I get into Jimi Hendrix a lot too. And and there's a reason why he's known as one of the best to play guitar, not just because he plays it upside down, but he's actually pretty good, and he pushed boundaries. And
definitely,
but then you got other songs as well that, like, some of the big ones, like Under the Bridge. I think personally that song's got a few good memories for me. I played that for my music recital. I think it was the end of year 1 for year 11. I think I got a very good mark for that. I think I got like an A- or an A or something like that. And
that's pretty cool.
On Mercury, I think I mentioned before. I think I was talking about By the Way album. That's one that a lot of people wouldn't know. It's a very fast-paced song, like it can be a little bit chaotic in terms of the pace. It's a bit hard to keep up with the song when you first listen to it, but I think it's very good. There's another song on Stadium Arcadium as well. It's another favorite of mine. It's the last song on the other side, so on the Mars side of the album. It's called Death of a Martian. So I think it was about. It's strange. I think it's about the death of Flea's dog at that time.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
So it's a very cryptic lyrical song, and the end of the songs is very bizarre. But I think the more I listen to that song, I appreciate and enjoy the song more as I listen to it. It's very weird in that way.
Yeah.
And I guess one other song in mind that I had in mind. Well, there's two others. Like Around the World is one of them. And I think, as you were saying, Saron, how it has the grungy beginning and then it goes into their more funk. So it's kind of in and out, in and out.
That was just get myself really dancing to that song. In fact, there's actually a couple of
it's the dance floor anthems of Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Really?
Well, I don't know.
I'm surprised that would be on the dance floor. But, there's this. What were you gonna say, Saron?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a couple of songs which I think especially a higher ground, like you just want to just go in the car and just
fit.
fast. Certain songs from that song, I don't know why, it just want to get me going.
Still burnout in the parking lot.
I didn't want to say it because whoa, don't try that at home, kids. But
it's a thought. Just dream it. Just have the dreams about circling burnouts, listening to
we don't
High Ground.
We don't want to promote any bad behaviour on this podcast.
Don't worry, Saron, Thach promotes safe driving. But
they can't drive anyway. They're children, so.
True, but just the future kids don't do that.
Imagine doing those little Thach's cars. Those little Thach's.
But one other thing.
I think one of the. I think those
called Emmett Remus, which is actually it took me years to figure this out, but Emmett Remus is summertime spelt backwards, and because I didn't know for the years, but I think it's like a basic like relationship song. I think it's about like an English girl and American man, and then the chorus is like London in the summertime. And I just thought, okay, I don't know what Emmett Remus means. And then I kind of look at it properly. It's like, wait a second, summertime.
Yeah.
I just read it backwards. It's like summertime. That makes so much sense.
Cryptic, yeah.
Very cryptic. But
Yeah.
I think you're talking about grungy songs on that album. Emmett Remus is probably the most grungy song on that album. So if you haven't listened to it, like, I don't know if you have Spotify or if you have iTunes and I don't know if you have any of those, Saron, but if
I've got the Spotify.
Okay, so if you got, well, I'll send you a link to Emmett Remus after this podcast, and I'll give you a listen to it. I think you'd like it. And same to you, George, if you want to listen to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm definitely be keen to check that
out. I've realised another song that I have left out. It's from a soundtrack from the movie Coneheads, I think it was.
Oh, Soul to Squeeze.
Oh, that's such a beautiful song. Like, I remember hearing it one time. I think it was about 3 or 4 in the morning. I had to make it go to regional Victoria and listen to that when the radio. I thought that doom 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 doodle doom and that very.
I used to know how to play it.
I tell you what, it's one of the smoothest Red Hot Chili Peppers songs I've ever listened to, and if I could have that playing early in the morning on a very long drive, I reckon I would have a sense of calmness. It's sort of I mean, so it's probably one of the best ones. In terms of being as a calm song, not a grungy or aggressive or a hippie type single. So I definitely put that on the top 5 list of greatest Red Hot Chili Peppers songs.
Yep, I agree. Nice. That's up there too. That's a good song.
Yeah. And the fact it was all black and white, and sort of like a bit of a circus, I think. I only know that from know that from watching was it from the Rage Top 50? Yeah, the old Rage Top 50 on YouTube, and they show like 5 minutes, 5 or 10 seconds of footage, and they sort of show what it looks like. So that's one of the best. So
okay.
Yeah, no.
I think was it Under the I think another thing about Under the Bridge yet. Yeah, I didn't realize actually how dark the lyrics are to that song. Like, under the bridge is where I drew some blood. It's like, no, like, really?
It's basically a true story of what their life was, like, particularly like Anthony, and I don't think Flea ever did heroin. I think he may have done some other things, maybe like cocaine. I have no idea, but I think it was mainly Anthony and Hillel when he was alive. I think were very abusive users of that particular drug, and obviously John later on. So as I said again, I think that's a very unfortunate past of theirs that in many different ways are affected by that. And I think that song for them is probably a good way to look back on what life was for them, and looking at themselves now, they're a lot healthier and they're far from that place of where they were.
Yeah, for sure. I guess that with a name like Under the Bridge, it's kind of implying that, it's not, you're not going kind of over the nice surface, you're kind of delving underneath where it's got more, I guess, darker tones to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Definitely not a...
And it kind of makes you...
Oh, go ahead,
I was going to say, it kind of makes you think whether, police kind of now look more under bridges after that song. It's kind of like makes an indication, who knows how many people actually do that kind of thing under the bridge. Yeah. So kind of like whether all these junkies are like, damn the Red Hot Chili Peppers, now that all the cops know where we are.
Yeah, they busted us now.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like bridges in general, under bridges in general, has always been, always people doing shady stuff under bridges. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, seems to be the thing. A
Freedom.
nice secluded spot where no one can find you. Although most people would probably want to go. So
Yeah.
Not definitely not an analogy or a metaphor for Oscar. But what's it? Was it the troll under the bridge? Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely not.
From,
But
I forget the fairy tale, but yeah.
So the troll on the bridge, and then people, but yeah, I think just a bit of a quick research. I think what was it? Another song that I also realised that down mine was I think it was called "The Adventures of Rain Dance Maggie." I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. Can't believe that's 10 years old, but that's often overlooked. So that one.
That's the first single they released off the "I'm With You" album.
Right.
So that had that would have had Josh Klinghoffer as the guitarist.
Yeah.
What a name, Josh Klinghoffer.
Yeah.
But that one, it was. I don't know. It's like a certain sort of beat to it that just makes you go, "Wow!" Sort of going through high school at that time, and I thought, this one's sort of my tune of that period of my life. So
yeah, for sure.
I actually haven't. I was gonna say that I think that song was released on my 16th birthday, and I was having a party that night. And I remember we were listening to the radio. It's like, oh, the Red Hot Chili Peppers have released a new single, and I think we listened to that at my house.
Yeah,
so
right.
It's a little bit of another memory for me. That song.
Always good.
And I remember the film clip too, because I think they're on top of a rooftop of some apartment building near Venice Beach. So,
okay, yeah, right.
Yeah. I remember.
You have all these people looking up at them.
Yeah. They weren't trying to imitate the
Beatles.
roof.
Who knows?
Maybe, yeah. This is our last door, guys. See you. We've done that. The end for us. Oh dear. Cool. Well, is there anything else we want to talk about, or are we pretty good? I think we've covered a decent amount.
Yeah, I've gone through talking about its history, talking about the albums and how we've sort of followed their band and their music, and had a following in the first place. So it's always
that's
good
kind of what we were aiming for.
Yeah, always good to go down memory lane and just
exactly. Yeah, that's what we're here for. Yeah. Delving into your guys' brains and mine as well, and pulling all out.
At the same time, I've had the odd smirk about so you can tell from my face when I was listening. But I was reading through online and just reading about how Chad Smith and Will Ferrell look alike. I couldn't stop.
Doppelganger.
Yeah, doppelganger.
The many German words that just fit so well in our life.
Yeah, true.
Like Schadenfreude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Kartoffelpuffen.
Oh, wow, okay.
That's pretty much like a potato patty kind of thing, like potato and onion patty.
Okay.
We used to cook them all the time at primary school. Well, we did, like, going a bit off topic again here, but in primary school, because we did German for a LOT subject, but we also did science in German as well.
Oh, no.
So, yeah. So I think that's kind of part of why I was always bad at the science, because I always struggled because they did it in German as well, and I kind of felt
Yeah,
if they
that's
did it
crazy.
normal, like in
Oh,
English, I would have
yeah.
probably been a fair bit better at that.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
one of the
Man.
things I remember was they used to make these things called Kartoffelpuffen. Like Taz
Yeah.
will
Right.
tell you about that. She'll know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Yeah, but there's these like pretty much these little pancakey potato onion pancake patty things,
Okay.
and you could easily cook them.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it
Right.
was very interesting.
Was that the first word you said, or the second one? Because you said two.
Oh, the first one was Schadenfreude, which is laughing at someone else's displeasure or pain.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. Cool. Well,
yeah,
we've learned a bit of German today. Great.
yeah.
Oh, cool. Cool. Well, I guess unless anyone else has anything, I'll wrap it up with the last few questions that I ask all my guests. And
Yeah,
Corey's
go ahead.
already done this, so I'll ask Sharon.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead,
what's your
George.
favorite song, artist, album, and genre?
Oh, favorite song, artist, album, genre. I go with the easiest genre being
Okay.
rock.
Yeah. Cool.
Album. Oh, I got plenty, but we're gonna go with the one album that 10 years ago I listened to via, let's call it torrent. But
Okay. Don't
Oasis.
disclose anything.
Yeah, Oasis
Perfect.
is Oh man, I can't
What's the
remember.
story, Morning
What's the
Glory?
story? Morning Glory. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
favorite album.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week or last
Yeah.
time.
Oh, best
Yeah.
album. I could
Good
listen.
album.
Seriously,
Mm.
I could listen to it from start to finish without skipping a song. That's how, because when I listened to it when I was younger, I thought, let's have a listen to all of it. And 10 years later, I've got the album put in my car, and I just can't be bothered skipping it because you just listen to it all and you go,
Nice.
this is
That's what you
so,
want.
Give
Exactly. Yeah.
give the album Definitely Maybe a listen to too. That's their first
Yeah.
album. So it has like
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Star, Live Forever. Yeah.
Yeah, I should do that as well.
Okay, so all right, so we've gone through genre. That's rock.
Genre, album,
Genre,
artist,
album,
and song.
artist.
Artist
Ooh,
and song.
artist. I have to go with the Killers. Roger from
Okay.
Las Vegas. So I've got all
Very
their
nice.
albums. So listed
Okay.
since their first album, Hot Fuss. So I've got
Yeah.
then Sentimental, then
Good
Day
old
and Age.
classic.
Have you got Sawdust?
No, I don't. Not at the moment. So, but I've got their first three albums and their greatest hit songs. So, yeah, love the Killers well before they won the 2017 grand final. So, which you would have been
Which I saw.
very happy about, Corey.
I saw them twice. I saw them twice in one day.
Yeah. So, yeah, all my favorite bands. And then song. Song. I'd have to go with. Oh, you're not gonna believe this. "Dreams" by the Cranberries.
Oh
Like,
yes,
Ah,
yeah.
yes.
I think I remember you talking about it. I was like,
Yeah.
I got you to sleep pretty quickly.
Oh, such a beautiful song. Like, it's not grungy like Zombie, but it's just.
Oh no, yeah.
And the music video is just very, very tame, but it doesn't seem overly dark. So yeah, Dreams is just
Yeah.
So that period, fortunately,
sure, yeah.
Dolores O'Riordan's sadly no longer with us, but her lyrics and her voice just work so well.
Work well, yeah.
Yeah, tell you what, it'd be a pretty good lullaby song, So in my view, because so like putting the baby to sleep. So
Yeah.
that's why
Good song
I
for
put
that.
down as my favorite song. So I think I've
Yeah,
got that.
nice.
I think I've got all that sorted out. Band, song, genre, album. So
very nice.
yeah.
I
could
feel
go on
like
and
what was that?
I could go on with all the albums, but
yeah.
I've actually got I've actually got quite a lot of
Yeah.
albums at
CDs,
home. So
yeah. I've got tons of them.
yeah. I've actually been.
You haven't seen my collection, then, have you? Hang on.
I've seen it
Trying to
before, Corey. I've seen it before.
I'm trying to. I'm not sure if you can see
We're
all
going
that.
on a whirlwind ride there. Woo.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's not all of it from what you can see, but there's like 3.5 rows of that.
Yeah, nice. I've never actually stacked all mine up.
Yeah.
I've got a single row at home, and then I've got like another 2 shelves worth of albums. I've got like, Triple J Hottest 100s.
Yeah, always good.
The 12th Mans, which I've listened to, which is just satirical. It's just like sports broadcast, but in a satirical side. So, but can get going on, but it's not about me. It's about the music.
Well,
that's how.
It's a bit of a mixture, I guess, because we also want to talk about the significance of music to people, not just like the music as well. But when Corey was talking about seeing the Killers live, I was thinking about the guy me and Saron went to see, the comedian. He was talking about when he went to see Train. I think they were performing at one of the football games or something, and they were playing Drops of Jupiter. That's right.
Yeah.
And everyone's kind of like, getting into it, waving along, and then they start playing Hey Soul Sister, which is their new single, and everyone's just kind of not interested. So all of a sudden, let's go back and Hey Soul Sister again, Hey Drop of Jupiter again, and then everyone's just getting back into it. It's just like, fun time.
I bet if Train ever had the chance to also go touring again, people would probably ask that song again.
Yeah, well, I think it's a pretty classic. I mean, Soul Sister, Hey Soul Sister's good, but it's no Drops of Jupiter.
I think Hey Soul Sister got flogged on the radio, and that turned it off for me.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, most of the singles do. It is what it is, I guess. Cool. Well, thank you for joining me, both of you guys. Hope you enjoyed yourselves, and thank you for delving into the inner workings of Red Hot Chili Peppers with me.
No worries.
That's all right. No worries, George.
As I have
to join in.
as I had before I hadn't started this conversation, didn't have a great understanding of the band as a whole. My knowledge of them has definitely increased dramatically, so thanks for that.
That's good. Like we could be some assistance to that.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll definitely make sure to check some more songs out. I'm sure many of our viewers will hopefully be keen to do as well. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and see you all guys on the next episode.
Oh,
Bye.
Bye.
See ya. Thanks.